Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? How are you doing on this fine Tuesday? It's Tuesday, yeah? But how you guys doing? Let me take a second to find a good station for us to listen to. We'll do chill pop today. Yeah. Nice and cozy. Let me know if I need to turn up the volume or anything. While Pretzel Rocks just starts talking in the chat, but that's all good. We're not gonna bully Pretzel anymore. I'm doing good too. Figured we would go back to this drawing, finish it up maybe. Or at least the line art, because I haven't touched it since the last art stream. And then I'll either go on to coloring it or I'll work on something else. But the main thing I want to do is I want to get that keyblade all set up. So let me move you guys over. And also, I am a fool and didn't make sure that my tablet was charged before stream. So my cable is plugged into my pen. So if I bonk the mic, I apologize in advance and will apologize each time it happens. Because it tends to happen. Yeah. Ooh, I want to pull up a reference for the Keyblade I want to be drawing. Let's see, it's the Halloween Town Keyblade. Let me see. Town Keyblade. Let me see. And I'll just copy it over into here. And I'll actually have that be a separate piece so that way I can see it and it won't take up too much space for you guys. And by too much space, I mean you guys won't even be able to see it. Oh, and thank you for the host. I missed it and none of my alerts are telling me. Crimson, thank you. Okay, so we are just gonna... We're actually gonna sketch this real quick. And move that layer to the top so I can kind of sketch over my hand. Make it nice and blue. If it'll let me sketch. There we go. Okay, so we'll have Jack's head kind of there. This is some very interesting music that it's starting us out with. Just lock and load. At one point I might change it if this isn't the kind of vibe I want today. Although sometimes the lo-fi hip-hop station tends to get a little bedroomy, if you know what I mean. Let's see, we'll do a little bit of that. I feel like his face is a little too small. There we go. Making the eyes bigger helped. And let's see, got it like this. So have you guys been watching any neat animes recently? I've kind of been behind in my anime watching, so I don't know what stuff is good in the new times. I feel like I've heard there's like a few new ones this season that are doing pretty well. But I'm still catching up on like watching some of last year's animes. I've been watching... I need to fix that up. I've been watching... Pretty Boy Detective Club. Which isn't bad. I think I'm too early in the series to really know what they're trying to do. Like, the pacing also seems kind of like a classic anime, if that makes any sense. Like, the pacing and also, I guess, school setting, but mainly the pacing is making me think of Ouran High School Host Club as well as Maria Holic. But I'm also, like, I'm honestly not sure what to expect. Because this girl goes in there and is like, hey, there's a star that I saw when I was like 8 or something, and I haven't been able to find it. Can you guys help me? And then they find out that she witnessed a satellite being exploded. And she was gonna be like silenced because she was figuring out that it wasn't actually a star. And it's like, what is going on here? And now she's like, can I be part of the Pretty Boy Club? And so now she's doing that. But yeah, I don't know what to expect. The series is very, very pretty though. Which is good considering that it is a Pretty Boy Club. Behind anime 2, watching 86. What happens in 86? I'm not sure if I know of it. Let's see. We'll go like this. This symmetry tool has been very helpful ever since I found it. Or ever since I started using it. Especially for stuff like this. This way I don't have a bent keyblade. Let's see, we'll do it like this. Ooh, actually, I have a better idea. Rather than struggling to do that. Hello, Moki! How are you doing? Huh? There's the tool. How's Baltimore treating you right now, Moki? I saw that you went over there today. Let me see, I need to flip my reference image. There we go. It started raining. Well, I mean, you know, that can't be all bad. And then it stormed as soon as I checked. Ah, well, at least it waited until you checked in. The winds are wild. Oh yeah. Winds in other places of the world compared to here are wild. Like, I traveled to Missouri like 2 years ago, and oh my gosh. It's like when we say it's windy here, no it's not. Hoping the power doesn't go out, yeah. It's just the windiest of days are just nothing compared to other places. It was raining for you, nice. Yeah, it feels like it. I mean, it looked like it was gonna rain today, but now that I'm looking, it's kind of cleared up. I wouldn't be surprised if it started raining here, though. You know, really? In the world? Oh my gosh. And that's considering it was like, it was kind of windy for us, like, for our area's standards not too long ago. But it's just, yeah. I would believe it if we have the lowest wind speeds. Oh, it's all good. Don't worry about the delay. I think Twitch just in general has a delay. Sweeties, all good. But it definitely is worse on mobile. I think that part needs to be bigger. I should have had this end piece on a different layer, but oh well. I'll get that in there. Friend isn't here yet. Oh no, $80! Oh no. Is it 45? Oh no. I mean, I guess on the free, yeah, I guess that makes sense for 80, but still. Oh, oops. Wrong symmetry. We'll put you there. There you go. We're not doing anything there yet. Who let cities grow this big? I don't know. Well, I mean, East Coast, like, they were probably going wild. They were probably like, you know what? This whole area, this big old space, one city, and then by the time they went to the East Coast, they're like, maybe we should tone it down a little bit. Maybe we should make smaller cities. Or freeways, like, nyum. Oops, I'm on the eraser. I'm very focused on getting these, even though it's just the sketch. It's just like, oh yes, perfection must be achieved immediately. Need to check local pharmacies. Ah! Yeah, fingers crossed for that. I don't know how that kind of stuff works, but hopefully it all works out for you. It's like it's medicine related, so part of me is just like, it's not gonna work that well, but fingers crossed for you, Moki. Yee! Hopefully you have fun over there with whatever you are doing. Yeah, it's tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing a little streamy stream. I have a vague idea of what I'm doing. I have like most of what I'm gonna be doing figured out. There's like one little section that I'm like, maybe I do this or do that. Because I want to play a little bit of Phasmophobia. Because I think there's a new map that was put out on Sunday. I can't get the second half of these wings all figured out. Shit was there. It's all good! I do not mind. It is always good to have a chance to get out and do your thing. But yeah, I think the new map is like in a campsite from what I remember in the image. Like I said, I need to look into it a little bit more because I don't remember. I don't know if it's actually a thing, if they were just announcing it or if it's actually out. I would love to do it in VR, but I don't know if I would be able to do a like a 6-hour stream all in VR. If VR chat wasn't acting up on that computer, I would totally do that. But it happened. Okay, I think, whoops, did I just spin myself everywhere? Now I think I made the key part a little too big, but you know what, that's... That's okay. I think we can fix this. Okay, let's move those little things over there. And we'll just kind of move this over here. Also, I'm a little sad because I used to be the person that just would never get caught by the ghosts. And now I have lost basically all of my money for how much I've died and had to rebuy things. And it's like, no. Man, I did make the key part of this too big. Because I also, in being the person that would never die, was the person that would always bring the stuff. So it's like, well, I have to bring this, so I guess I'll buy everything again. And I would die immediately again. They just made the ghosts really strong all of a sudden. That or I just haven't played in a while. That look good? Yeah. That looks good. So the ghost cart, yeah. Oh gosh, there was this one time that we were going down into the basement because it took us a while to figure out that the ghost was actually down there. And we were hearing the death rattle from down there, and it's just like, huh, that's weird. It's probably just ambience though. And so we went down there and the ghost was like, they immediately haunted. They did not hesitate. The second we were starting to go down the stairs, it just came around the corner and just got the person that was in front, and it's like, oh, okay, bye. Because I tried to go and take a picture of the body for insurance, and then it like started rounding the corner again. It's like, nope, nope, okay, I know when I'm not wanted. But yeah, it's wild. I'm a little afraid to like do it again in VR. Because for a while there, since I started in VR, when I was doing it in desktop, I was just like, oh, this isn't bad. This isn't scary at all. Bring it on, ghosts. And now it's just like actual fear. But it is good when a scary game can be scary still. Let's see. Man, Moki was laughing at me. Bullion the dragon. Oh, I don't think I asked you about this when it was announced on the Nintendo Direct, whenever long ago that was. But that Chocobo GT, what are your opinions on it? Let's see, I need to make these chains nice and chunky. It looks super cute. Yeah! I was so excited. I was so excited when it started out because there was, oh gosh, like way back when I had this little magazine that had an ad in it for Chocobo Racing for like the original PlayStation, and I remember I wanted it so badly as a kid. So when Nintendo announced Pokemon, or not Pokemon, Chocobo GT, I was like, yeah. People saw Vivi and legit were like, yee, you made it! Yee. Which, okay, there's no, we will grab this one. And get started on this little keyblade. I'm not into this one. I'll change stations over to, well, let's get Electro Swing in here. And keep it on that for a little bit. Lidl? Lidl? That's not my pen. There we go. Oh gosh, what was I using for this drawing? I don't think I was using Pen. Maybe Kitty Pen? I think I can close my reference now. Oh, because I moved it. Okay, this will be a bit tricky, I think. Nope. Little Giblet. Yeah. Dishwasher, but not a wall. Oh no! Oh, with, really? With the Airbnb? I guess you have to wash your clothes in the dishwasher then. Let's see. That's close. To put your big ol' hat in the dishwasher. I'll get this aligned here at one point. There we go. That should be about right. Right? Maybe? I don't know. Art is an interesting thing. Where it's just, it's good enough. That and another thing where it's just like, I know this is wrong, but it's good enough. I'm giving him like a Grinch smile. I probably shouldn't have closed my reference because now I don't know what I'm doing. But I can just reopen it. There we go. Nothing to see here. Try East Coast Asian. Oh, hopefully it's good. I can't imagine it wouldn't be. I'm just messing with my reference over here, don't mind me. We have weirdly authentic. Yeah. Okay, it's a good thing that I opened my reference because that was not how. Why are you buffering? Okay. I had to write to file. It's just like, you're not gonna crash on me, right? You never do this. Okay. That was probably the best beef and broccoli. Oh yeah. I feel like I always get the really basic stuff. Although I feel like I haven't been to a Thai place in a while. Ah! Ah! Here we go. I'm saving. Okay, it is saved. Thank you, because I probably would forget to save until the very end of stream. I'm very bad about it. I need to actually make it a hotkey on my tablet. I don't know why I haven't yet. Yeah. Also, exciting thing, someone contacted me back after a really long wait, being interested in a live 2D model, and I'm like, sweet. Nothing set in stone yet, though. But it would be very lovely. And I still need to contact the other person, but I do want to wait until I am more caught up on commissions before messaging them. Because I do want to check in on them. Because it has been a month. But like I said last art stream, it's like I don't want to be there and be like, hey, are you ready? Because haha, I'm not. See? And more than likely with this one, they are an Aura, the Final Fantasy XIV race. Okay, you can be on the wait list. I do think your hat would be very fun to rig. And also the cloak. Or just to work on the model in general. I don't know why I said rig. I mean, it could be fun too. You can make the space all nice and bouncy. Which I still have you on the list of things I need to work on for emotes. So you need to let me know when you're ready for those. You've been just sitting on my commission queue. Having already paid for them. Just every now and again I'll have a clear queue, except for that one commission, and it's just like, I wonder when Moki's gonna tell me what they want. Let's see. Because yeah, you paid and everything already, so just so that way I'm not taking your money. It's like I do eventually want to give you a product. but also no rush. If you want to wait until you have a more clear idea. Let's see. Made that kind of wiggly. You know what? I'll just do it like this. There we go. You just stick it in. 大丈夫. Vector eraser. Get a little bit of... not that much. Okay, I'll just deal with that. Is it bad I was legit thinking about this? I think if you did, I probably would have been like, ah, finally. I don't even remember if you only bought like one or if you bought multiple. I would have to look at the at PayPal to see how much you gave me, because I think it was just for one. But I have no clue at this point. I immediately am a fan of this one. There we go. I'm liking it. It's like, you give me cartoon noises, I give a like. Geez, I have to move this one too. Can I just move this? Cool. Needs a little bit of... There we go. That should be fine. Didn't I also commission like some banners? Maybe. I think there was... Oh yeah, there was that animated Vilfon. If you want that money to go towards something else, we can do that too. I don't know why I never got around to finishing that one. I think that was still when I used Psy too. So yeah, if you would want that to go towards a banner or something, let me know. It's just what, Moki? Yeah, that's fair. Well, not coffees. But I get what you mean. Yeah. The weird friend barters. Man, I do like this song. It's nice and funky. Yeah. Just when you have a good idea for them. And then I'll get to work on them. And then eventually I'll have to do my own emotes, but I will wait until I actually can use emotes to make some. Or at least to sketch them out. Okie dokie magic mo. I think I made it too rounded at that one point. I need to have some nice angles. Yes, the good water. face. And we'll just do lines and then color them later. And, oh yeah, the chain. And I can get rid of that. And then we'll get some of the bands in here. Which bands are always fun. Kinda just do whatever. And for the most part, they'll be good. And we'll just erase all the part that's in the hand. And then we'll erase the hand that's being covered later. You lurking around, Crimson? And today is really like a chill day. I think I might go ahead and once I'm done with the line art here, I'll work on a different piece. Because there was a little, like a redraw meme thing, where you draw your character in different ways. And I thought it would be fun to draw myself in that way. And it's kind of similar to the little shirt cut meme and all those other ones. But not quite. It was just something I looked at and I was like, that might be fun. I did start working on one of the shirt cut memes, but I don't know if I'll follow through with it, to be honest. But this one that I have planned, I'm not liking how these chains are looking. Yeah, we'll redo them a little bit. Because I refuse to use the chain asset. Unless I really need to. Okay. Have fun, Moki. It was nice seeing you here. Hopefully you get some nice East Coast food. Hopefully it's not too expensive. This song's really fun. It's like a little cop chase. It's like you just stole the crown jewel. And you're driving away. Oh, this one's called Scoundrels? I love it. This is like when you drive to the, like you've gotten away with the crown jewel and now you're at your base. That, or this is the enemy team that are like, oh, these ruffians have been stealing all the stuff we want to steal. Let's steal their girl. Or something stereotypical like that. That or they steal the lovable sidekick. And then the main two have to go and like punch all the ruffians or the scoundrels. On your way to steal your girl. Yes. Like I can almost see like there's the specific set of goons that you always see in each episode. Like I'm imagining this is like a Saturday morning cartoon essentially. And they're all just like they're all like hunched over with their hands in like the little T-Rex pose, like, we're gonna steal your girl. And they're kind of going through all the alleyways and stuff, like on beat with the music track that's going on. And then it pans over to the good guy's base, and the girl is just like, la da da, like working on inventions or something or other, just vibing. And then they just reach through the window and grab her, and she's like, wah! And nobody notices because, like, I don't know, everybody's getting ice cream. Makes you think of Team Rocket's challenge, steal your Pikachu. Yeah, a little bit. Although, you know, they have to be elaborate about it. I mean, I feel like I remember there was this one episode where they actually did bring Pikachu to the boss. And they were like, hey, we finally caught that Pikachu that's been eluding us all this time. And he was just like, why did you bring me a Pikachu? What? And they're like, yeah, it's like a really strong Pikachu that we told you we were chasing after. And he's like, why the heck would I want a Pikachu? Go away, you nerds. And then they were all like sad. I feel like that was an episode that happened. I think it was more than likely it was just, they were like, yeah, this is a very strong Pikachu, and Pikachu was just like, I'm not doing anything for you to prove that I'm the strong Pikachu. Like, what do you take me for? But then there was that one classic, like first, gen of Pokemon that had like the great soundtrack and all the nice songs, and it had the Prepare for Trouble stuff, and it begins with like, this is the boss and I'm sick of waiting. I want Pikachu, and this time don't screw it up. And so it's just in my brain, it's just like, this is a little like conflicting information, isn't it? But also, you know, it's for kids, so they retcon a lot of stuff that they like wrote themselves into a hole because of dubs. Because I think they did that also with Tokyo Mew Mew, where Pudding, I don't know what her name was in English, they were like, oh yeah, she I don't know, is like an orphan or whatever, and then there was an episode with her family in it, with like her parents, and then like they had to write it in where Ichigo was just like, hey, didn't you say she was an orphan? And Mint had to be like, I guess I remembered wrong, lol. It's just like, this is the best that we can do. So, you know, I wouldn't put it past 4Kids to have just forgot that or, you know, messed up and assumed that was a plot point. But you know, even though it was 4Kids, Pokemon wasn't too bad. One of these days I might have to watch the newer series, because I feel like they had that be fun. Okay, I'm gonna move that into, I think that's the sketch folder? Something like that. But yeah, I always found that little thing kind of silly. But also just Pokemon in general, the first season or two were very interesting, considering they originally had like regular animals coexisting with Pokemon. Like specifically, when they were in that submarine that sank. Like Ash looks out and it's just regular old fish. So, you know, even the anime wasn't quite sure what to do. But now it's just like, yeah, it's just Pokemon. But then you have to think, like, okay, are people eating Pokemon? Or is everybody vegetarian in this world? And then you get to this whole question of like, okay, is it morally right to eat a Pokemon? Which Pokemon are considered food? You know, and this isn't even a case of like whether or not you're eating meat. Because some Pokemon are like vegetables, essentially. Or like plants or fruit. Which technically... I actually don't want to erase the thing that I'm erasing right now. There we go. Because technically some of them are plants. Yeah, well the milk comes from Milk Tank. And I feel like that's been like pretty agreed upon that the milk in the world is from Milk Tank. Let's see, give me a second. Okay, now I can close that reference picture. And then do this little deal that you didn't see, but I did. Okay, I do need to erase a little bit more of my tail. I think I need to fix my tail over somewhere. Oh jeez. It's a pretty weird controversy. Yeah. Because there's also... the thing where I think it's slowpoke tails are a delicacy, but it's also like a forbidden delicacy where it's like you can get in trouble if you get caught like selling slowpoke tails to eat, if I remember right. I could be wrong about that, but I remember there was a very specific slowpoke tail plot point in Pokemon Gold and Silver, I think. Because you have to go into a well and find all these tailless Slowbos. And then stop whoever it was doing it. Whatever that generation's equivalent of Team Rocket was. I don't know, I just did the Voltorb flip. That's all I remember. But also, the Pokewalker was really fun for Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I don't know where mine is. I think it still has a hacked-in shiny Mew in it. Or was it a shiny Umbreon? I don't remember. There's some Pokemon in some dying Pokewalker. I also think of this, Pokemon eating Pokemon is probably not that common if it's... That's true. Yeah. Because there has to be some Pokemon out there that eat other Pokemon. And you just kind of have to deal with it because it is the circle of life for Pokemon. There we go. There's the missing part of my tail. Yeah. Because, you know, there's some Pokemon that you'll look at and be like, yeah, this one eats leaves. This one eats berries. But then you'll look at other ones and be like, yeah, this one could eat my Pikachu if it really wanted to. Oh, this one's just vibing. That one's not connected to anything. Okay. Okay, that's just a coloring thing. Let me actually make this color like, let's make it like a light blue. And then see where we need to erase. Because we probably need to erase in a few different places. Or wait, yeah, this layer. Both of them actually. Let's combine those two. That Charizard probably, yeah. I could 100% anticipate a Charizard eating other Pokemon. And of course the, I can imagine Arbok also eating other Pokemon. I can 100% imagine an Arbok eating a Rattata. And imagine, like, even with the Pokemon that eat, like, fruits and berries and stuff, they could probably accidentally eat a Pokemon, too. They'd probably, you know, question what happened. But, like, I don't know, imagine, like, I'd imagine a Bulbasaur would eat, like, grass and stuff. Just, like, maybe some leaves. Just imagine it, like, eats Oddish a little bit. Like, it nibbles on an Oddish, and then it doesn't realize until, like, a little bit later, and the Oddish is just like, Whoopish! And the Bulbasaur is like, Baba! Like, I don't know, Pokemon doesn't really address these things, unless it's addressed in the manga. I feel like things go pretty hard in the manga. Let's see. I think I will go ahead and save this, and I'll go ahead and work on that meme thing I was talking about. Because I think that'd be pretty neat. I might come back to working on this piece, but let me see. Did I not save it? I must have downloaded it, right? There's a Pokemon that looks like ice cream. Yeah, or like, can you imagine? Oh gosh, can you imagine a little kid? Can you imagine just like a little kid walking up to this Pokemon and like licking it and hearing it say like, what is it, like vanilla or something? I don't know how it sounds, which is like vanilla, and the kid being like scarred for life because it's just like, did I start eating a Pokemon, Mom? I can imagine that would be like a really traumatic event to happen. There's a few other food-related Pokemon, aren't there? I'm trying to remember. Okay, I'm gonna change the words on here because I don't know. Let me just actually just cross it out like this. Oh, we'll grab this brush. Let's see, we'll do Mosume. Mosuko. Because I feel like those, the terms that were there are a little sus, so we'll just have it be not as sus. But yeah, this was the meat that I was talking about in the different forms. So I could draw myself with like the milkers over here. And then draw myself as a manly man. I need to look up some ikemen before attempting that one. But then I can draw myself as a small little lad or a small little lass. I thought it would be cute. We'll at least do a little bit of sketching here and there. And who knows, maybe we'll go back to the other drawing. I do have it in the other tab. So we'll kind of do a little bit of this action. And we'll kind of have me have like a little sultry look. Probably need to make the eyes a little smaller. Maybe. I don't know. Have a little bit of eyelash. I don't know. Have myself look rather gendered. Although it's not like I make myself look not gendered here, but you know. Just have little eye swooshes and just be like, hey, ada ada. And then we'll kind of have the nose. Let me start this over. Kind of want to get the whole of the pose before I start worrying about details. So we got, let's do a little bit of thick, let's make me look like Lady Dimitrescu here. And then we'll do this. We'll do a little shoulder action here. Got the ribs. And then we got the little, let's see how big we making these today. We shall have these be like that big. Yeah? Maybe? Just opie so huge goes out of the panel. And this isn't TOS. Don't worry, Twitch. Or maybe it is, but it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not TOS. It's not TOS. Oh no, I've scooted myself. Let me readjust myself. Hold on a minute. Technical difficulties. Ah, my boba. Oh gosh. Why? Should be letting me move. Now I'm very large and in charge. There we go. Okay. I just need to get this boba out of my face. Nope, not on my wing. Okay. That should be good enough. Oh, now it's just floating though. We will put you right there. That should be fine. Or not. Okay, let me just move over here into the void. And then... and we'll just call that good. Booba ba boba. I might want to make those smaller. I don't know. It looks a little sus. But also the category is a little sus. Kind of want to do like a little like, just looking down on you. No, I'm redoing this. Ah. Okay, I give myself one more try. If I'm still being picky about it, we're going to the previous one. Cause I want to do a pose where I have like my arms under. So that way it's nice and like sultry, like But now the arms aren't looking right. It's like I've never drawn an arm before. Okay, well. So this way, they're all wumped up. And we got like big ol' hips going on there. It's like I'm holding two pumpkins. Just look, Twitch, they're pumpkins. It's fine. There we go. This one's nice and mischievous. See, they're pumpkins. They're pumpkins. Oh, jeez. I made a mistake here, didn't I? Let's see. We'll still continue on this, but we will be holding the pumpkins until I get a better idea of what I'm doing here. And so we'll get the nice sultry look. But we do want to have the little slit eye thing. Little slit pupil. I put way too much detail before I go into the next eye. A lot of people will tell you if you are having struggles with eyes, draw them at the same time and not one after the other. And I will say that is some very good wisdom. I am not wise. So do as I say and not as I do, as I have heard people say. And then you will see the weird order in which I do things. I almost feel like with this look, I don't know if I like how that looks. It's like, that doesn't look like me. Kind of already doesn't look like me because I'm holding two pumpkins. That would be way too many pumpkins. Oh, I know why it wasn't looking like me. It doesn't have my little mouth thing. we go. Now it looks a little bit more like me, although the nose is a little bit too small. Notice that when Peach draws eyes, she has the first eye duplicated and mirrored. Yeah. I think that's... Personally, with me, it usually doesn't turn out looking that good when I do that. Unless I'm doing, like, the direct face-on thing. But even then, I have to have the mirror ruler on. Because I notice I tend to draw at, like, a tilt. So, like, if I end up duplicating something, it'll kind of be almost like this. Like, that's the best way of me describing it. I think you can kind of also see the tilt, like it's just very slightly like this. So having an actual, like, straight up and down ruler really helps. Yeah, I'd imagine both eyes would be different if you tilted your character, yeah. Well, like, especially with this, because if I went ahead and did that, and then just, it's not gonna be a perfect duplication. But if I did it like that, like a lot of the things are very specifically showing, like, this is the part that's facing towards you. And so with it being like that, like, it's really hard to make it look like it's the one that's supposed to be over here. I'm not really pointing to anything, or not pointing with anything, but yeah, like with some people, it works. With my art style, it doesn't really. It is all dependent. I think another thing is I would have to elongate the face a little bit. And then it's really not gonna look like me. But it'll definitely have that look to it. I'm making myself less round, it's very weird. My big ol' ears. How would I imagine myself being like this? I feel like my ahoge would be like a little bit bigger? Maybe? That doesn't look right. I'll do a little... I feel like the prominent, like, bottom lip is the thing that I would need to do, but also, like... yeah, we're going back to the other drawing. I will come back to that, do that later, possibly, but as of right now, it's like, I'm not feeling it. You know? So let me go ahead and grab my little color reference for myself so that way I can color pick. There it is. And then we'll pull it over there, pull it off a screen. Oops, I didn't want to draw on it. Okay, I'm gonna grab grab the skin tone first. And we'll just make it nice and splattered around there. And okay, that's good for that. Yeah, we'll have these all in one. I'm gonna be lazy today. I missed something. I missed something on my outfit. This must be fixed. What tool do I have? Hello? That was weird. There we go. I knew something was wrong. There we go. I'll put that back on the vector eraser. Which I said this last time, but would definitely recommend, if you have access to a vector tool in your art program, to give it a try. It makes things way easier. Especially if the program that you are using is Clip Studio Paint. Because you can use any of your tools as a vector. From what I remember, I think in Psy you were kind of limited? From what I remember. I could be wrong, though. Okay. Now we can continue doing this. I can't believe I forgot a color. My own palette. An error must be corrected. Yes. And so it has been. So I'm a little bummed because I hadn't been on my VR for a while. And I go to like World Hop on VR chat, and a majority of the worlds just kick me right back home. And it's frustrating, you know? I forgot some of my stickers. Why did I forget things of myself? Maybe that's why my face looked off. Because I don't have my little stickers. Let's see. Got little dot. And we'll put another, and it's a little bit too near my mouth. Look at them little stickers. There we go. There we go. That looks much better, actually. And then maybe. No, that might make it look weird if I do that. But yeah, it's been kicking me. It's been kicking me. It's been mean. Every time VR chat servers. Yeah. And it's weird because I think it's just an issue with that computer. But I've tried everything. So it could maybe be a server issue. Because when I've tried with this computer, like, everything loads up fine. But when I try on the computer that, you know, has the VR and everything, it's just like, nope, you don't get to. And then after trying a bit, it's like, okay, well, I'll just get on Beat Saber, play a little bit of that, and then I do that, and it's like, hey, guess what? We updated again. today. So all of your mods are broken. And it's like, oh cool, thanks. That's what I wanted today, you know? But in theory, maybe it's fixed today. Because sometimes VR chat will have an issue for a day. And usually Beat Saber mods get fixed the day after an update, so who knows? No use crying over things like that. So, you know, you just get on the headset and be like, oh cool, I didn't need to get on here today, I guess. Cause yeah, if I knew for sure that it would work, I could maybe do a VR stream tomorrow, but I already have other stuff figured out, so. C'est la vie. And I'm going about coloring this a little bit differently than I would normally. This is just so that way I don't have a million layers to deal with. Because I don't need to. Ooh. This is going back onto the, like, the scoundrels. This is... I'm trying to figure out a situation in my head. This is maybe the main cast is chasing after the scoundrels that kidnapped the token girl character. They're like mid-chase, and the girl is being like, okay, to get me out of here, you need to do this, and they are doing everything but. And she has to be like, no, don't do that. That does this. You need to do that. That's what I'm imagining for this situation. I need a sippy. Where did I put my water? Hello? Hello? There it is. Let me just break a few times. It's fine. Let me do a little sippy. I don't know why my water bottle makes those noises. I shall put the water bottle here. There we go. Now I don't have to break the next time I take a sip. I think for now, I do need to make like an exclamation point hydrate. And I need it to have a noise accompany it. So that way you guys can actually yell at me to take a sip of water. Instead of me being like, oh, my mouth is dry. Yeah, this station has been very nice. I don't know why, but I'm just sitting here, you know, coloring away, being, man, I want to play Genshin. But I feel kind of weird about playing it on stream because it's like, hi, I am all the way in Inazuma, and I am just existing. I also feel like a little embarrassed because I feel like if I start streaming Genshin, people are gonna look at my items and artifacts and everything and be like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to yourself? And I'll be like, what? I feel like I'll have a bunch of people being like, you're doing this wrong. Go level this. Stop doing side quests. And do this immediately. You absolute scrub. And I'll be like, okay. No need to bully the streamer. But I know that's what's gonna happen if I ever do stream Genshin. So we'll be like, look at this nerd with these low tier items. And it's like, it's not my fault that I do things that are my fault. It's not my fault that things for... There was something that I was trying to level up. And it was like, oh, you need to go to this thing, which is open on these days of the week. And it's just like, I'm not gonna do that. Still need to catch up with the story quest, need to finish all the stuff from the second update, and I won't judge, just wish I had better... Yeah. Because I've barely done anything. And like, for guides that talk about character builds, they're always like, oh yeah, you just have this artifact. We're not gonna tell you where to get it, even on the page that tells you where to get things. You just need to have it. And it's like, but where? What? It's like, I don't even understand the alchemy thing. I've used it like a little bit recently for leveling up characters, but like, I barely touch the thing. It's like, I think I used it to make fancy shards when I was leveling up Raiden. And that was about it. Why does this song make me think of Austin Powers a little bit? Honestly, just click on a bunch of domains on the map and find the different artifacts. You know, I have her. I haven't used her. I don't know if she's good. It's just I have Chi-Chi as my ice user. And I like having the nice variety. Cause right now I have Venti, I have Raiden, I have Chi-Chi, and then I have I can't remember her name, but she's the fire one from the not Inazuma, Leeway. And it's like, I just have her because I wanted a fire user that wasn't Amber and wasn't Xiangling. Cause like, I don't know, I didn't want Amber for a while. And Xiangling, she's good. But if I want to activate anything that needs fire, I need to use her E, and that's like a little annoying. I would have loved the firework girl from Inazuma. And I tried pulling for her, but I did not get her. The gacha is very unkind to me. And for a while I had Razor as my Electro user. But I like being fast. So that's why I have Raiden now. Even though she's evil. I have replaced a good boy with a bad woman. But you know. That's how things roll here. Usually use Yaomiya, yeah. I wanted Yaomiya. I like her homing shots. Makes it easier to shoot down those birds for chicken. Yeah. I think I'll always have Venti on my team. Just because, you know, Venti. Although I'm worried because I remember seeing a thing that made Venti trend on Twitter for a little bit, and there was a law passed in China that you can't have a character that you can't immediately tell whether they're a boy or a girl, which but also it made everybody be like, oh no, they're gonna change Venti, and I'm worried about that too. Like I hope that they don't change him too much. But also there's like a good amount of feminine boys in there too. I mean, Venti is the most so, but you know, he can be androgynous. It shouldn't have to be a problem, to be honest. But no, Raiden's like really nice to use. Like especially with her E and having it go to the other characters. And you just wreck someone with either combining it with fire or ice. So it's very nice. I'm just gonna go ahead and make all of my hair black for a second, and then I will make it normal here afterwards. Just so that way I make sure that my hair isn't like skin colored. Hopefully they won't do anything too extreme. Raiden goes very nice with Venti, I'd imagine, with your swirl. Oh yeah, it's that too. Although usually if I'm just going against one strong man's, like usually the big Shogun guys are unaffected by Venti's Q. They're barely even affected by the E. So usually what I'll do is I'll E with Raiden, and then I'll go and E with Tichi. And that tends to help very well. By the way, Chi-Chi is really good at taking down people. Like, she is my very tiny tank right now. And has been for a while. Because I think... I don't know if it's a specific thing with her or if it's one of the artifacts I gave her. It's more than likely one of the artifacts. But she has the thing where if she gets hit, yeah, it has to be one of the artifacts I gave her. It'll do like a little whoosh, to keep her mostly defended from it. And so yeah, she's a little tank. I have her set up as like a healer / DPS, and I think that's what she's supposed to be. But she's a little tank. I very rarely use her Q though. I don't know why. But she's a little tank. Kawakunai, kawakunai. And she's very cute too. 1, 2, 7, 7. Yeah. Man, I just remembered I was talking about My Hero Academia last stream in terms of art and like kind of messing with Peach since she was far behind, and it's like I'm a few chapters behind now, I think. Probably need to build her later, but I've been too used to using Jean as my healer. Her Q is like a huge burst. Oh. I never pulled for Jean, and I don't know if I would really use her if I ended up pulling her. One of these days I might have to try out, I'm spacing on her name right now, but I might have to try out the pirate lady. Because Genshin is like, hey, do you want to main her? Let's just full constellation her for ya. You're welcome. And it's just like, oh, okay. She's probably not much compared to Metroididen now. I ever so carefully colored my little yellow hair clip. And now I am coloring it white. As the world has intended. She's nice for crowd control, and that's that bad of an Minnow character. She can also yeet her enemies. Good if there is water to instant kill them. Neat. I might at least give her a try if I ever do pull her. Which, who knows if I will. I think I'm saving my my things to pull for the next one. Because if I remember right, this banner is a rerun that has Child and a few other characters, and it's like, I don't really want to just work on constellations, and I don't really feel like getting Child, so we'll just save them for later, as I am but a lowly free-to-play pleb. Which I'm kind of afraid to go farther in my adventure rank, because I have so much, I have so much XP saved up. and the game's practically begging me to go and just do the thing that'll level it up. And I'm just like, no. The last time I did that, I was getting myself handed to me. People were beating the hecky out of me. I accidentally got 2 child when I just wanted a 4-star Rosaria. Oh no. I feel like sometimes gachas like that have a desire meter where it just can tell who you want to actually pull for, and it'll make it a point to not give it to you. That or it's just me blaming my bad pull luck on something else. They kept giving me every 4-star, but the new 4-star was so painful. Oh no. Yeah, I feel that. There was, I think it was Idolmaster that I was trying to pull for, oh gosh, every time they have like a Halloween banner, there's always somebody that I want to specifically pull for. And then it's like, hey, we're giving you the other SSRs in this banner. No need to thank us. Oh my gosh, I got Uzuki, like, I think 4 times in the one Halloween banner, and it's just like, I just want the small one. I just want the one that's little dressed as a vampire. I want the little vampire child. She is so cute. She's got little fangs. I can't remember her name right now, but she has she wears little pajamas. And it's so sad because she wears them because, like, she doesn't get that much attention at home, so she just wears them so that way she can be popular and people can pay attention to her, and it's like, baby! Because she's like, I think she's like literally 9. She is legitimately a child. And it's just like, I want to give her little head pats. I want to give her a cookie and give her a hug. I need to actually look more into some of the Idolmaster girls' stories, because a lot of them are just like, this one is pretty. And then you look into it and it's just like, oh, this girl is like dying of an illness. And is like, hey, once I pass on, my friend that also became an idol with me will be able to have all my fans go to them. And it's just like, oh honey. It's just, I don't know, something about Idolmaster. Which, I think it was a combination of Idolmaster and Toreba that taught me to like not spend real money on stuff like that. Because there was this one time my friend got me a Google Play card, and I accidentally put the money, or she got me it to use on Pokemon Go, because she was like super into Pokemon Go. So she's like, hey, I'm gonna get you some points so that way you can buy things in Pokemon Go. And it's like, I don't really want to, but I mean, you're just giving me money. and I've already told you no, and you're not accepting it, so whatever. It was kind of an awkward situation, but I ended up accidentally putting it on the wrong Gmail account. I ended up putting it on the account that Idolmaster was attached to, but not Pokemon Go. So I was like, well, I guess I'll use these for polls then, and I got pity SRs. And it's just like, oh, okay. And it was during the time where heckin' Kirari had this like really pretty carnival SSR, and I was very sad that I didn't get her. I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm not I'm not spending this money. And then with Toreba, it's just like, for those who don't know, it is a, it's like a UFO catcher app thing, where if you catch things, they'll actually send you the stuff. I've won a few things off free plays, so it is possible. But there have been a few times where I'm just like, oh, if I just nudge it like a little bit more, I'll win it, and then I never do, and I'm just like, I am angry at myself. I spent like $10 on nothing, essentially. And so after that, I was just like, yeah, I'm not spending money on this kind of stuff. Just free to play for me from now on. Which sometimes it's hard, but at the same time, it's just like, well, at least I have something. But that's me personally. This isn't a thing of like, oh, you shouldn't. It's just a thing of like, I shouldn't. Because then I get angry. Okay, I'm gonna get my horn colors. And then, you know, alternatively for Idolmaster, there's always the characters that are just like, I just want to be happy. I think Uzuki is literally just, she wants to make people smile. That's it. She just wants to make people happy. And then, like, there's this one girl, Kome. I think she's another girl that's like, you are literally a child. And I can't remember how old she is. I want to say she's like 11 or 12. And I can't remember why she is an idol. I just remember that she likes scary movies and she likes ghosts and she has like little ghost friends that like only she can see. And sometimes she'll freak out the other idols by being like, yeah. Yeah, you don't see this friend right here? Oh, they said that they like your hair. And they're just like, who are you? What the hell? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, yeah. And she's cute. Kome is a sweetie. Yeah, it's different from person to person. Skip certain banners if the characters don't interest me. So I know what future journey. Oh, right. Right, because they already kind of got these things. Which I am a little sad that, like, we didn't get the KFC special promotion wings. Because they are really pretty. I don't know if we had to do anything specific to get them. I'm gonna take a sip of my water. But you know, like, more of a variety of different gliders would be really nice, I feel. Because as of right now, we just get the default, and then I think there were the There was like a early player bonus. I don't know if anybody still gets those. Probably not, considering they just hit their year anniversary recently. And then you have to like reach top you have to be like really liked by a certain town to get anything else. Cause it's like we got all the KFC food. We just didn't get anything else. Which I'm a little upsetty with the KFC in like my area specifically. I won't be too upsetty. But 9 times out of 10, they ruin an order. And I will leave it at that. Cause I don't wanna slander a company. But like, I don't know, I ended up like having it back when when they put out that visual novel. And I didn't have it for years before then. And the first time I had it after having that visual novel, I was like, yeah. Because I think they had that special promotional thing where it was the popcorn chicken in some mashed potatoes or something. Something like that. It was like the big dish that they had at the end of the visual novel, because I think it was pretty much promoting that. And I was like, yeah. But then it's like, And that's kind of why I don't have it in the treat stream. But also because for some reason the like chicken tender meal wasn't showing up on Grubhub for me to actually order that. Which I wish TreatStream would allow for like DoorDash or any other food delivery service. Cause Grubhub is so... sorry, I bonked you guys. Like, I'm not gonna go into like prices or anything, but there's a lot of venues that are on there that like don't have the menu set up right on Grubhub, at least in my area. Like for example, there's Mod Pizza, which, you know, you go in, you put as many toppings as you want on your pizza. You get it through like most delivery things. You put any amount of toppings you want on your pizza. You open it through Grubhub, at least from my location, you put 1 topping on your pizza. And it's like, this isn't right. That's not what Mod Pizza is about. You go in there and be like, hey, I want all of this as a pizza. It's more common in Japan to see anime and characters like from Genshin Impact promoting KFC or Pizza Hut, but not so common, sadly, in America. Yeah. I think there was even recently KFC collabed with like a VTuber company. Like a Nishi Sanji, I think. And it's very common there. Like, Colonel Sanders is very beloved over in Japan. At least that's what I'm led to assume from my years of consuming anime. is that they just love Colonel Sanders over there. And meanwhile over here, like the closest you get to a collab is like you get a toy thing. Except I went to a Carl's Jr. recently, and they had like you could get anything upgraded through the Adult Swim thing. And you can get like a little figure guy with a fancy cup. That's Carl's Jr. because I remember you would go through and get the little antenna topper. Yeah, I never had the chance to have that. And it's like I wanted to try the sauce. Cause I am a liker of chicken nuggies. And I would have wanted to try the sauce, but I didn't have a chance to until the day after the promotion ended. But do you remember the, it was like one of their first collabs they did was like for this one rapper guy, and they had a chicken nugget body pillow. And part of my brain was like, I kind of want this, but I can't justify that price. But I thought about it quite a bit. I did want me a chicken nugget body pillow. Yeah, I think McDonald's in general is doing like quite a different few celebrity collabs in different countries. I watched Dancing Bacons do a video, and there was like some very specific Singapore celebrity, I think, that they did a collab with, and it was like a very specific kind of sandwich. Which is another thing. I feel like it's like those kind of promotional things have a little bit more effort put into them than they do in the States. Because it seems a lot of the time the promotions here for the McDonald's stuff is just, oh, a slightly different arrangement of a combo. Save for like the special sauce that came with the BTS meal. As opposed to like, I don't know. I don't know. I could be talking nonsense right now, actually. I should have a little warning thing of like, take every single thing I say with a word of salt. I might not know what I'm talking about. Especially upon being questioned when I'm just like, what was I saying? Oh, so? Man, I probably should have colored this the usual way I do things. Oh well, I'm already this far in. We're both doing the thing, oh yeah, of forgetting. But I was saying, in other countries, I feel like the McDonald's promotions are a little bit more intricate, because here we just have like a remixed version of an already existing combo or something. Meanwhile, like there was a Singapore one where they had a very like specific special meat or like very specific special burger. However, for all I know, it could actually be a normal menu item in that area. And it could just be like, oh, it's different here. So that means it must be a different thing that they'd never have ever. So whenever point... Yeah, it really is. Which, speaking of, there I go saving. Don't worry, you speak wisdom. No, I do not speak wisdom. I am not the dragon of the wisdom. I'm just doing my best. I stopped myself from saying something really, really sus. What? Don't you worry about it, Moki. Just my mouth was about to get me in trouble. It wasn't gonna be intentional, if that helps anything. I did! Here, I'll save again. There we go, I saved a second time. Now it's doubly safe. But yeah, I definitely should have it be a hotkey on my tablet by the time I have that as a point redeem. So that way I don't have to cross my hands to save. Well, I forgot all of my stickers. Man, I forgot all of my stickers. Oh well. I just ordered like $100 worth of Chinese food. You mind, you mind sharing there, Moki? I put all that on the wrong layer. Okay, this is fine. Okay, how much did I put on the wrong layer? It's savable a little bit. Okay, we're just gonna duplicate this layer, save that there, and then we're just gonna erase the blushes for this one. Okay, good, I didn't add any blush to that hand. And we're just gonna merge that down. And then we're gonna unclip that. And then do this. That too. Okay. Crisis averted. Thankfully, I didn't have anything close to the different things. Okay, socks. That's what I was doing. Oh, so I added another plush to my plush hoard. Today, it was a little Halloween kitty. It was very sweet and cute. And he's got a little smushed face. He's very sweet. And he's a little vampire kitty. I don't remember if I mentioned that. It is very cute. Whatever instrument is happening right here is giving this song just a little bit of Splatoon vibes. Like if it had a little bit of more wobble, I could totally imagine this in like the story mode. It's definitely not fast enough to be in an actual match, but you can just be like, yeah. I'm kind of waiting for the instrument to come back, but I don't know if it will. Which I am excited for Splatoon 3. Although I'm also excited for that Kirby game. I'm very interested to see what's going on in there. We're gonna make this Uber driver very happy. Hello, Moki's Uber driver. How are you doing today? Because it's literally like less than a quarter of a mile away. I think I misunderstood the situation then. I don't know. Excited for the fur? Oh yeah, the furry octolings. Yeah, that's gonna be really interesting. I'm excited to see what they're gonna be doing with that. Oh, like the tip? Okay. Yeah, I misunderstood the situation. I don't know why, but my brain was like, ah yes, Moki is taking another Uber and making them listen to me. They went from a quid skid. A squid kid to a furball. I had to reset there for a second. Oh my gosh. You know what? I think me messing up on simple words warrants me taking a sip. A quid skid, yes. There we go. I have taken a sip. But yeah, I am excited for tomorrow. Because not only do I get to do a fun stream, that'll hopefully be fun, but I'll also be having Indian food, which I have not had for a while. I'll be having some nice korma. Although I am sad because the place that I usually get that stuff from closes kind of early. But at least there are multiple places that have that stuff around here. At the very least, there's 2 places. Oh no, Crimson, how dare you! How dare you! Also, sorry, Moki, I kind of stole the "how dare ya" from you, so. No, not my shame! At least you're glad about it. That makes me feel less bad about taking it. Cause yeah, I do it so much and everybody questions me. But it's very fun. I can't believe how dare you didn't originally come from you. Oh, sorry. Sorry to ruin the magic, Crimson. You are? Wait, when did this happen? Is this a different boy? Wasn't... I don't know. Not like 2 months ago. Oh, okay. So this is okay. Let's see, I'm gonna have the keyblade on a different layer and I'm just gonna... Your foods! Oh yes, go eat. Go eat your foods. Yes! Let me see, let me go and do this so this way this makes it easier. I'm just gonna be all lazy about this one. I'm just real messy and lazy. That is closed! Ugh. It won't let me be fully lazy. I see how it is. Oops. Okay, I'll just go in there and be like this. Like how on my way means I will literally be there shortly because it's a 1-minute drive. I mean, yeah, the shortest it could be. Come on, erase. There we go. That was kind of weird. I feel like it wasn't supposed to work that way, but it did. Man, there are so many games that I want to play on stream that are longer games that I sure hope people would enjoy. Because I know I'll enjoy them. And I really shouldn't care on whether or not people do. I mean, I should. I shouldn't worry about it too much, I guess is the better way of saying it. But also, I want to play a lot of old games. And I feel like that'll mainly attract the people who are about as nostalgic as I am. Let's see? Yeah, that should be fine. Got that little different shade of dark gray. Get maybe this shade for the... Yeah, that's a good pumpkin shade. And then we'll do something around the lines of this color. I think that's about right. And we'll go like around here. I think it was like this aged kind of color. Yeah, another game, or I guess not another, because I haven't really mentioned any, but a game that I've been wanting to play, and I want to play it on stream, is Xenosaga, but I feel like that might be a little too niche. And the thing would be, is I would want to play the whole series. I would want to play each of the 3 games. Those games are very cutscene heavy. So I'm not sure. But I think it'd be fun. So I also want to play Persona 4 Golden, because I only played the original up to a certain point. And I also want to play a few Final Fantasies. But on the opposite end, I also want to play Psychonauts, because I eventually want to play the sequel. And so this way I can know what would be going on. It would just be quite the time difference. Because the first game is kind of old. Which is not a problem for me. But maybe for others. I'm just kind of talking in circles, aren't I? It's not really a thing of whether I should play a game or not, it's a thing of when. When would I be playing these games? Because I do like the idea of going through different, like dating game visual novels in February. Maybe even, a little before February. Just so that way I have enough time to actually go and I can have like a good variety before Valentine's Day. Because if I do it like just in February, I would only have like 2, maybe 3 weeks. And that would not be enough time for certain visual novels. But we shall see how it goes. I forgot the band-aid on my leg! Oh my gosh. We'll fix that here in a sec. Man, I was so offended with myself. I forgot what I was gonna say there. I had something on my mind, and I was gonna be like, oh, hey guys, this is important. And then my brain was like, stop everything. Stop everything. Heckin', your band-aid. They snuck in bubble tea ads with our food? Oh no. We know we know what Moki's gonna be getting now. Man, Man, now I want boba. I mean, I kind of have this little picture of boba, but I want boba. I could go for like a Taro boba. Well, now that I think about it, maybe not. Maybe a melon boba. A melon boba would be very nice. Okay, let's get that band-aid. Let's get that band-aid on that knee. Oops, that's not the right tool. There we go. This one was the blush, okay. So we go over here, grab this blue. But hopefully you're enjoying your food, Moki. Hopefully you brought enough for the chat. Okay, we got me colored in. So now we get to save again. And now I get to figure out a color scheme. Oh, what I wanted to do actually. I wanted to add just a little bit of a border around me. Not that big of a border. Whoops. Nothing's in that layer. Let's have this brought down a little bit. That should be good, I think. Grab that color. Still a little too thick. So we're gonna have this down to like a 5. Oh yeah, that looks perfect actually. So let's put that behind the main color. And then we'll fill that in so that way we don't get those like weird little line things. I might thicken up in some areas. But I think that really makes me pop. So now I want to pull up a little reference. Station of Awakening, just to kind of see the general color scheme and stuff for the background. And also, I need some general shapes. Also, I forgot a line back here. Do I still have the... Okay, I do. Was it... Which one was it? Not that one. Was it this one? Yes, okay. We're gonna drag that onto here real quick. Just so that way I can finish up these few lines here. Because I noticed that when we ended last stream and I was like, yeah, that's something I should fix. Okay, we're gonna separate just the one from the other, I think. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna be putting the main piece in this folder so that way we can have the ruler just there. And then... Oh gosh, I've been streaming for a while already. It took me a while to color myself. Okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and... kind of go in with a color, not that one. We'll just go grab this one. Thank you, Crimson. The food is nice. Good to hear. When they said spicy, I expected hotter. Are you disappointed with the level of spicy, or is it like pretty good still? I think it's coming along. Thank ya. I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, let me just go from tonal correction, and then just go from here instead of just selecting random colors and going from there. Because I kind of want a blue. This one might work. Let's let it be less saturated, maybe a little darker. Yeah, if I have it be darker, I'll pop a little bit more. Yeah, that should be good. Would have preferred hotter. Fair enough. I have like a very fine line of spicy. Okay, I need to actually have the reference up so that way I can see all the various shapes. We'll open that one. Yeah. I think this reference I pulled up is a fan piece, but it's all good because only I can see it. So there's another. We will have. How does this color look with it? We'll just do it like this. Maybe. Go ahead and color in these circles. And then we'll go from there. Oh no. Okay, we need to do this one, we'll mark that with that. And we'll take that ruler off of there. Yeah, that's a different color. It's like I don't know good colors to add to it, so we will just go ahead and... Oh! Hello, Peach, thank you for hosting! Have you been lurking this whole time, or are you just showing up? How was your island? You know what? Let me actually... Might be better if I do like a color palette generator. Because I am not sure what colors to add here, and I feel like if I keep going the way I am, it is going to look like an absolute mess. Let's see, that's a website that picks colors from something. This website that I've picked has too many pop-ups. Okay, it's... This is gonna be a mess. Yeah, your island! We will just, for now, grab this color palette. I will keep it in a way to where I can easily change. But for now, I don't feel like trying to mess with stuff. I'll drag this over here, so that way I can access it. What a bag. How's your island coming along? I think is what I asked. I don't remember by now. I remember you said that, I don't think I wanted to grab that one. That Isabel finally came to your island. My view is getting all... Because now I need to reopen the Station of Awakening reference. There we go. Okay. Now I can see everything. Let's see. Kind of almost need it to be like this, and then this one can be this color, I think. But then I get lost a little bit, or do I? Okay, well, like I said, I will make it to where I can actually change everything around. So this color needs to be about... Nope, wrong tool. About where this happens. But do I like that green? A little bit. It doesn't look too shabby. At least for now. don't want to get too attached to colors that I will more than likely be changing here. I'm just kind of flopping colors down willy-nilly. Let me kind of make myself transparent so I can... Ooh, I almost need to actually make myself disappear. Look at this mess. Oof, okay. Didn't think it would do that. Let me just erase that. 'Cause big oof. I wish the eraser like went with the little grid. That would make things way more convenient. Okay. So for this space in the center, we almost kind of just want to have that be nothing for now. Which this is gonna be a mess to clean up, I can already tell. What? It didn't even do. Okay, right here? Okay. There we go. Not as bad as it could have been. You know what? It might be easier if... Nah, it's not that bad, actually. Because, yeah, that has to be, like, a general shape. These colors are not really working together. So the color that's right here needs to be, like, here-ish. I have a different ruler for this. Move that over there. Oh, that's why it's not doing anything. It was locked. Mamster Chief? Yeah! Hell's Cave. But, you know, it's a halo. Wow. Oh, that's this color. And so... I'm just looking between what I have and the reference being like, Cause this can go back there. That can go on there. This color. What do I have right now? So the darker color is about right like here. Wrong ruler. It's about right here. And also with these. Yeah, I need to find better colors. It was an idea, but it's not working for me. What I can do probably. I'm gonna change these into like a grayscale. Because I have little an idea as a treat. Let's move that out of the way for now. We got a big dark gray. We got which color was it? This guy is the next darkest, so we'll put it as I didn't log it. That, and then we'll have this color be pretty light. And this one, like this, and this like a mid-tone gray, I think. Yeah, that actually that kind of looks cool by itself. But what we're doing here, let's go ahead and merge visible to new layer. Nope, not that. We need to duplicate this layer and then merge those. And then gradient map. I can maybe find, now that's cute. That's a different feel than what I'm going for, but that's cute. Oh, that's kind of neat. Oh, look how dreamy that looks. That looks really dreamy. Aww. I have a few different ones to look through. Oh, that looks cool. I just want to see how a rainbow looks. Oh no. Okay. That was very. It was very prominent. Ooh. Not too bad looking here. I kind of like the look of this one. I don't know if it fits aesthetically, but I like how that looks a whole lot. Ooh, we might have something here. I'm not... This is close to what I want, but it's not quite there, I feel. Some of these look really good. Because, like, I want it to match with me, but I don't want to get, like, too lost in it, you know? Ooh. This is a really strong contender. Yeah, I think this was the one... Yeah, this was the one I was looking at earlier. Let's see... Oh. Oh, that's what I did. I accidentally took away one of the points. So if I kind of make those like a little bit more on the purple side. I think I need more variation with my grays. I think that's what's holding me back. Yeah, so let me vary it a little bit more. Let's make this one a little, it is really close to white, but let's make it a little bit more so. And this one, that one might be fine. Let's make this one like practically my shorts. So that way we can make this one like be right there in terms of green or gray. You also barely see that color in most spaces. So what we need to do is erase this in the way that it wants to be. And so with that, oops, we have to have it be like we'll start it out like this. Or almost. I'll just kind of do it as the little lines and then make it all nice and pretty later. Because right now we are mainly trying to find a nice color scheme. So we're doing it in a very nice simplified way. Okay, so now we duplicate and merge again. Let's move that over there. And so now correction, gradient. Okay, I think that helps give us a little bit more variety with there being more. Oh, this one's so pretty. Ah! Ooh, this one's really pretty too. Ah! Yeah, now that I've had more of that variation, these are popping out a little bit more and making it harder to decide. Oh, that one looks nice too. Ah. Just watch as I switch through colors randomly, fawning over different styles. This one's really pretty. I am really leaning more towards the kind of sunset feeling ones. Like the almost, the Twilight Town? I don't know if that's right. Daybreak Town, I think. I don't know. But I'm having it kind of lean more towards those, like, like, that's pretty! Ow! If we mute that yellow a little bit, and kind of... But do I clash with it? Ooh. Okay, yeah, we're going with this color scheme. That is what I've decided. Can I add this over this one? Yes, I can. Okay. Cause like it's really pretty. And then we can just kind of edit from there. So I can go in. For all I know, I could change my mind on how I'm feeling about these colors. But I don't know. I'm liking them. Thank you for indulging me in trying to find a color scheme. Apologies in advance for when you see it next and it inevitably has changed. Let's see, these petals actually need to be bigger. I mean, how many color schemes would you say I had my heart set on before ending up with this one? Thankfully, I can very easily switch in between. Oh, I need to select this way. There you go. Or not? No. I need to do this. Hopefully you guys aren't sitting over there being like, out of all the color schemes, and they chose this one. SMH my head. Which, I mean, you know, fair enough. Like I said, I could change my mind on which one I'm going for. These are bugging me, these little petals. However, once I get farther away from them, they'll probably look a little bit better. Because also, I'm not really... I didn't finish working on myself either. Because I didn't put the little pink spirals on my capelet. But I can easily do that later. So do you guys have a game that you really like, but you definitely look at it and are like, yeah, this isn't a good game, but I love it? And if so, what? Could either be a sense of nostalgia, or just, you know, what's your guys' guilty pleasure game? Or it's just all around a game that you would not recommend to people, but you love it. Or, alternatively, a game that you, in your mind, remember really liking, but you also don't want to play it again just in case it's not as good as you remember it being, so that way you don't let yourself down. Because me, for that one, is I want to say Neopets Darkest Fairy. Because I remember as a kid being like, it's a good game. Seeing game reporters say that it was like a terrible game and being like, what? It's a great game. And I just sit there being like, it's probably not that great. But like, I don't want to prove myself either right or wrong. You know? I just looked at the reference that I was using for the Station of Awakening, and I just realized that not all of their pedal thingies are even. Ooh, look at that! That's not too half bad. Did what I say make sense? No, neither did that. Looking at it, the circles where everybody is needs to be a different color. I'll figure that out later though. Let's see. So everybody, let me look at more official Stations of Awakening. Let me look at this one. Okay. So, so they themselves would be like not that color, but this color. Oops, what did I do? So they need to have, where are they? They're right there. Let me put that there and put that there. And the thing is, for the characters that are in the background here, they have a little bit of shading, I think, from what I'm able to tell. But it's also a thing that is affected by the possible gradient map-esque thing, because it kind of looks like the shadows are like more saturated than the highlights in the original. That's gonna be interesting to play with. Yeah, I might change the... Yeah, not even might. I probably will change this color scheme. It do be looking good like a sunrise. Yeah. I think that's why I'm drawn to the colors for it. However, I more than likely will be changing around the colors. I'll probably close it, open it again, and be like, why did I pick these? Oops. Because I also don't want to, like, copy the color schemes directly from any of the Station of Awakenings. But color schemes are hard, you know? Like with my own color scheme, I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I had a character with these colors already. And was like, hey, I'm just gonna use these. I'm just gonna borrow them. But it's fine, because, you know, it was another one of my characters, so. Future Xephoria arguing with past Xephoria's color choices. Yeah, that'll be me. Because I think I had, I think I grabbed these colors for myself early on, from what I remember. Because I had a little sketch of myself while I was brainstorming my design. Maybe as a little treat, I will show you guys once I'm done laying down these colors for everybody in the background. Is that on this layer? It's not, it's on the other. Okay, so I'll have to fix that later. Cave be looking like a big old walnut. And then Mal. Big old void starfish. Who knows, maybe one day I will add Moki in one of these circles. Although I might do that off stream. Not sure. I feel bad because I did kind of want to do sketches today. But I just started doing sketches and was like, it do be a line art and slash coloring day. Which is okay. Sometimes that happens. You sit down being like, hey, I want to draw. And your hand's just like, no. And you're like, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, now that they have color, something seems a little off with the color scheme. Oh, I need to do the little zigzaggy. The little ziggy-zaggy. But we will do that another time, probably. Meanwhile, I think I will show you guys. Oh, I didn't figure out the color scheme at the very beginning. I will show you my very first concept. Haha, it was me. Didn't change too much. The biggest thing is like this, well, that's not the tool I wanted to grab. Basically this thing got changed over. My shorts are no longer high-waisted. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I went with everything else. But yeah. So it is 6. So I think it is a good time to end the stream after I save. So let me go ahead and find someone to raid. We'll just go ahead and... I totally didn't almost drop my tablet pen. What are you guys talking about? See, I have it right here. But we will go ahead and find someone to raid. I see you are here, Peach, with food. Oh no! You didn't tell me you were going away! But sadly, now you are back when we are raiding. Because it is 6, so I have to end. But that means more Animal Crossing. If you want, though. I might try to see if VR chat got fixed or something. But anyway, we will do a raid. We will go... This person is streaming? They usually don't stream until like early morning. Oh, they're a mute stream. Let's see... Well, you know what? We will... This person doesn't have too many viewers right now, so we will raid them. We've raided them before. It is good old Attack Rack. If you haven't been with them the last time we raided them, they are a combination VTuber / IRL VTuber. Yeah, you get what I mean. They stream art. It looks like right now they are playing Animal Crossing. It looks like they're doing Animal Crossing Squid Game, which I don't know what that's going on about, but that seems fun. So hopefully you guys are ready to meet and say hello to Attack Rack. Sorry, Rack Pack is the viewership. Anyway, I've tripped over my words enough. Let us go! Attack Rack!